Okay, so how you going? This is linear relationships. I'm just going to run through a few things on linear relationships. So, what are they? What do they look like? And in this video, how can we plot them easily? Sorry about that. Let's try the trick again. Okay, so here's the two forms we generally see linear relationships in. This form over here and this form over here. Okay. So, how can we tell they're linear relationships? For a start, they've got two pronumerals in them. There's no silly powers, no squares, no cube roots, anything like that. That's how we can tell usually that they're linear relationships. Now, one of the big things you need to be able to do is change what they look like using your algebraic techniques, plus, minus, times, and divide. So let's have a look at changing this one here first, what it looks like. We could say plus 4 to both sides. And that would change it to 3x plus 2y, and the minus 4 would shift over there as a plus 4. Now I'm going to minus 3x's from both sides. Alright, and now I'm going to divide everything by 2 to shrink that y. Okay, so dividing everything by 2. Dividing this by 2, you can write like this, minus 3 on 2 x's. You also, I'll just show it over here, you're also allowed to write that as minus 3x on 2. Just so you know, those mean that thing there and that thing there means the same thing. I personally just like it in this form. That's not wrong, but I personally like it in this form. And then everything being divided by 2, everything being divided by 2 means that's 2. Does this look familiar? This equation here, this linear relationship, is the same as this one here. You should be able to swap from this form here, called the general form, where everything is on one side, to this form here. You should be able to swap between them. I like this form here for when I'm trying to draw linear relationships. So let's have a look at that. No, I'm not going to try and draw that. I will try and draw this one, and we'll come back to this one, okay? So let's start with this one. We're going to need a grid to work with, and we need our two axes. That's our y-axis, the top one, right, up and down, and that one there is the x-axis. Okay, so x, y, and we're going to plot this one here. I thought I'd start with a relatively simple one with no ugly fractions. How do we do it? Well, we need to ask this thing questions. This is a linear relationship. We're going to ask it questions. We're going to say, hey, linear relationship, what happens when I take one step to the right? This is my x value. I'm trying to find my y value. I can choose any x values I want, but I'm going to choose easy ones. I like to choose easy ones. So 1's going to go in, and here's what we do. I want y equals minus 3, x. My x value is the one I chose, 1, plus 4. And see this line here? I just chucked this bit into my calculator. Minus 3 times 1 plus 4. And what will come out is minus 3 times 1 plus 4 is 1. So when 1 went in, 1 came out. There's my first point. Now I've chosen 2 going in. I'm going to do that down here. Y equals minus 3, 2 plus 4. And you might be starting to clue in. All I'm doing is rewriting this thing, but replacing the x with whatever I choose. So here's my 2. I'm just rewriting this thing here. But see, y equals minus 3x, but the x becomes a 2 plus 4. And this part here, I just type straight into my calculator. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. Minus 6 plus 4 is minus 2. Sorry, I'm just doing the calculation. You're allowed to use a calculator. You don't have to calculate in your head. Alright, so when 2 went in, minus 2 came out. Alright, fine, whatever. We have to do at least 2. I like to see people doing 3 of these. So let's do the third one. then I'll make sure you understand. What the heck? All right, so y equals, remember we're just rewriting this thing out again. Y equals minus 3. What's my x value this time? I chose 3. And then plus 4 on the end. So I grab my calculator and I go minus 3 times 3 plus 4. And if my brain serves me correctly, then this should be minus 5. So when 3 went in, minus 5 came out. When 3 went in, minus 5 came out. Alright, so let's now look at what we've got. We've got 1, 1, which is a point. 1, 1. 1 across, 1 up. Then I've got 2 minus 2. That's 2 across, 2 down. Then I've got 3 minus 5, 3 across, 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and we can see this is called a linear relationship because it makes a straight line. Hooray! Now, there was a number that I didn't do. In fact, there's an infinite number of numbers I didn't do. I can choose any number I want. I could do 10, I could do 50, I could do 103, and I could also do 0. I like 0 going in because 0 is a really easy one. Watch what happens when we do 0. Minus 3 lots of 0 plus 4. Well, 3 anything times 0 is 0. I just get that number on the end. When you put 0 in, you don't really have to calculate. When it's in this form here, when you put 0 in, you just get that number on the end. And if you look at this, it's a very special relationship. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't go left or right because it says 0 for x, 0 for left or right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got that point there. And as you can see, it's still on the line. You can do as many points as you want. 2 will give you your straight line. 3, I'd encourage you to do 3 just to check, just to make sure that you've got them all in a straight line. And that can go forever and got an infinite number of points on here. You can spend your whole life plotting points. Wouldn't that be exciting? Okay, so here's another one. Remember, they can come at you in this form, can't they? You can try and plot it in that form if you like that kind of thing, but personally, I don't like it in this form, so I rearrange it first. That's what we started with. So I'm going to minus 8 from both sides. I'm going to add 4 x's to both sides. Now I'm going to divide this part by 2, so I get y by itself. And if I divide that by 2, I have to divide everything by 2. Alright. Now I've got something that I can plot fairly easily. I'm going to need my graph, my grid again, and I'm going to need my 2 axes, my x-axis. I don't want yellow. What do I want? I want black. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. I want black. Give me black. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. There's my x-axis and my y-axis. Again, I can choose any numbers I want to go in for x. I'm going to choose the very easiest ones I can think of. 0, 1, and 2. Oops. Okay, when 0 goes in, y equals 2 lots of nothing minus 4. That's the one we get for free. When 1 goes in, I get y equals 2 lots of 1 minus 4. Come on, you can work for me. There we go. And my calculator says 2 lots of 1 minus 4 is minus 2. Yep, that seems right. And then I put in my 2. Y equals 2 lots of 2 minus 4. Sorry, it's a bit cramped there. Y, my calculator says 2 lots of 2 minus 4 is 0. Okay, so let's plot this point. 0 minus 4, 1 minus 2, 2, 0. Oh, and we have our straight line. Yeah, that'll do. Preferably use a ruler if you're in a test doing some plotting of straight lines. So that's how you can take a linear relationship and turn it into a graphical representation. How this might help you in, say, a particular upcoming test. Where are you? Okay, so 2x minus 4 was one of our relationships. There it is. There, 2x minus 4. What was our other one? Our other one was minus 3x plus 4. Okay. One of the things you might be asked to do is to solve a pair of linear relationships graphically. And what that means is you have to draw them both. You have to draw the two linear relationships, and wherever they cross, assuming they do cross, if and when they cross, where they cross is the solution to the pair of simultaneous equations. So we know that this one, we've already plotted it, looks something like go to minus 4 and go up 2, go to minus 1, 2, 3, 4, go up 2 for everyone. It looks like that, if you remember. We plotted it and looked like that. And the other one, up 4, go down 3 for everyone. Looked something like that. See this point here? If you're asked to solve graphically, all you have to do is draw the two lines, circle it and say, there's the solution. There it is, and you are done. Okay, if you need any more examples of that, check the highly examinable questions, or come to a tutoring session, or harass your teacher or your friends. I hope that was helpful. Thanks, girls.